as an employer, why wouldn't I want to employ people that are twice as efficient as other people, right? Why wouldn't I want people that are thinking that way versus, hey, I'm going to do it the old way or the old school way, if you will, and then not be as efficient, substantially less efficient.
The automotive industry has secrets, but we're here to uncover them. Welcome to Dealer Confidential, the podcast that dives deep with dealers to expose the controversies, the chaos, and the untold truths behind the business. No scripts, no filters, just raw, unredacted conversations. Ready to spill the tea? Let's go.
Ilana Shabtay here with Dealer Confidential podcast, where we take hot takes, anonymous hot takes from the industry and talk about them with industry experts. Today we have Zak Branham on with us. Zak, how are you?
I'm doing just fine. It's early in the morning here and I am waking up.
I know. So he's waking up. I'm closing out my day. Zak here is director of marketing at Harry Brown's, two rooftop GM and Stellantis dealership in Minnesota. He's really lucky. He gets 70-degree weather today. Meanwhile, here in Tel Aviv, we've been like sweating through 90-degree weather since March. But we have a topic today that I'm excited about because the anonymous hot take is really relevant to some of Zak's work and some of the stuff that Zak does for fun on the side, just to keep his dealership super efficient. So the anonymous hot take today is that I know I need to train. We got this from a dealer in the South. I know I need to train my staff on how to use AI so it doesn't replace them. Where do I start? I'll give the backstory here real quick, Zak, just because since your podcast went viral. Zak made a podcast about one of Fullpath's solutions through AI, through Notebook, right?
Yeah, Notebook LM. Yeah.
Notebook LM. I played around with it a bit too. Hope it doesn't replace me one day. No, I'm just kidding. But it sparked a lot of conversation, obviously, here at Fullpath. We loved it. We thought it was really creative, funny. It was awesome to see that type of stuff. So I reached out to Zak to come on because I feel like you must be playing around with AI. You must be figuring out how your staff can be using it. So where do we start?
Yeah. I mean, I think AI, obviously, we all know is here, is happening. And so in my role as director of marketing, there's a million use cases for how, what we're going to do next. And it seems like every day there's like a new thing. And so it's kind of this game of trying to figure out which tools are going to work, which tools aren't going to work, and which ones are just for fun and which ones are actually going to bring some value to the company. So in my role, I use a lot of different AI tools throughout the day. The main one, I'm a ChatGPT guy. I really do like ChatGPT. I think it does a good job, but Notebook LM has been a huge help to me, mixing it up with Perplexity or Grok or Gemini. I've been playing in the VO3 just came out this like recently, which is unhinged. It's
totally
bizarre.
Unhinged.
Yeah. So I played around in there a little bit, but only it's more strange right now than it is actually helpful.
Yeah, but also, like, don't you find that the conversation, I guess, like the AI wave 5-6 years ago was all about like, is AI going to replace me? Is AI going to replace me? Yeah. Now it really feels like AI is not going to replace you, but you've got to know how to use it. Like, learn how to prompt ChatGPT so that you can actually use it efficiently. Figure out like what are you doing in your day-to-day operations that's like so manual that ChatGPT can do for you. Do you feel like you're having those conversations and thinking about it like that? I know obviously we all use it for fun as well.
I would say in my role, I've added at least a half FTE to my job, right? Just in using solutions, right? And so I see it as this thing of like, yeah, we have to have it. Like it has to be a part of the equation going forward. And it's tough to figure out where to start. We've got 100 employees here, and it's like, hey, everybody, just do it. Just go for it. I think of it kind of like driving. If I told you tomorrow that in the next 24 months, all the cars are going to go to stick shift, right? And now they're all going to be stick shift cars going forward. And then we said in a meeting, we're like, hey, a topic in this meeting is just going to be talking about stick shift cars. I don't think it's enough. Right. I don't think it's enough to just say, hey, it's just a topic. It's something we should just discuss. What really needs to happen is that we need to engage it, right? We need to actually do something about it. Especially if I said in the next 24 months, stick shift cars are going to be able to cut your commute time in half, right? If you could cut my commute time in half on a personal level, I'd be like, yeah, sign me up, right? And so in a lot of ways right now with some of these tools, we're able to create efficiencies that are crazy great and helpful. And there are other people that are choosing to just not use it at all or just haven't adopted it yet. And in that scenario, then we're kind of leaving we're going to leave some people behind. And it's not a matter of it's going to replace my job. It's just a matter of I'm just going to be so much more efficient. And as an employer, why wouldn't I want to employ people that are twice as efficient as other people, right? Why wouldn't I want
Right.
people that are thinking that way versus, hey, I'm going to do it the old way or the old school way, if you will, and then not be as efficient, substantially less efficient.
Yeah. Okay, wait. So talk to me a little bit about what's the marketing team structure at Harry Brown's? Is it a big team, small team?
Yeah, the marketing team structure is me. I'm the director of marketing, right? Yes. And so I sit on our executive team. We've got close to 100 employees, and so it's me when it comes to like, hey, what are we doing out in the
That's
wild?
great because you
Yeah.
can test, try
Yes.
everything without being necessarily dependent on other people. So our marketing team at Fullpath is super mighty, but also quite small. It's not one person, but it is definitely smaller than I think like the standard. And now things got way more interesting because I'm having these conversations with the team about how can we basically employ AI? Like
Right.
what pick one project or one area where you can implement AI somehow, an
Mhm.
AI agent, whatever, however you want to refer to it, to make your job more efficient so that you can then focus on something else. So, like, I mean, it could be the smallest thing, like transcribing this podcast, literally, or it could be like mocking up design that we then just brand. Which I'm
Yeah.
sure I wonder, as a one man marketing show, do you use AI for design at all?
I have dabbled in it. So what I'll do, like we have I've got like a graphic designer that we contract out. And
Yeah,
so what I'll do is I'll use AI and say, hey, this is what I want to see.
cool.
And then I create a mock-up and then I send it over. And it just brings us a little bit closer to the actual thing without creating it, right?
Do you
So
use ChatGPT for that or a different?
I do usually. Yeah.
Have you
So
used Claude?
I haven't spent a lot of time in Claude, and I know everybody talks about it. I know there's a lot of different ones out there. It seems like we're kind of grasping at, there's like a million
I know.
options. It's like,
I have million options, but I've heard for design specifically, Claude is really good. I don't know. I also haven't used it, but I've seen my coworkers use it in the mock-up,
sure,
and I've been really impressed. So
cool, cool. I should
actually
check
good.
that
Yeah.
out. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's
yeah.
that's great. And then do you, especially since you sit on the executive team, like does this come up in conversations on the management level and are other departments thinking about how to integrate AI on the dealership level?
Yeah, I mean, it comes up all the time.
Yeah.
Traditionally, like I've been tasked with, and my rock this quarter is to really think about AI and how we can integrate it
Yeah.
into our dealership. So I'm bringing it up, right? I'm bringing it up traditionally. And so as far as like deployment and what we talked about with this podcast is saying like, hey, what do we do? What's the first step?
Yeah.
I think the real struggle is we sit in meetings and we go, like this is really important to us. We should do something about it, or we shall learn it. And I've been in meetings where we talk about AI and we say it's really, really important. Look at all these different use cases. But the reality is, it's just like a stick shift, right? Like you have to actually get behind the wheel and do it before you can actually realize how it's valuable to you. And so what I've been doing lately is I've been identifying different leaders within our organization, sitting with them for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and instead of just saying, "Hey, this is really great," say, "Okay, like I'm sitting next to you. Let's start with ChatGPT. Log into ChatGPT. Okay, I'm just gonna sit here while you're logging in. Okay, good. All right, you're in, right? And then like, okay, all right, add it to your phone. Okay, good. It's on your phone. Okay. Now here's a
Yeah.
couple use cases for what I do with it, and then think about it in your role and how you could use it. And then right there, normally live, I will say something like, I'll ask GPT like, hey, how could like I'm sitting here with this person. How could this person use ChatGPT? And then it will give a couple prompts, which is
That's
great.
honestly a great place to start.
Yeah, and it works.
Then they
It
see
works.
that how you're using it with a prompt, and it's giving them their next prompt,
Yes.
basically.
Yes.
Genius.
So it's like I believe that like that one-on-one is really the way that we're going to get this thing to the next level as far as
Yeah.
a company goes because it's a little bit overwhelming, to be honest. I mean it's
Yeah.
not a little bit, it's a lot bit overwhelming. And
Yeah.
so it's like what are we going to do in order to make this actually consumable? Just in the same in marketing we talk about, hey, how are we going to make things consumable for the customer? Like we got to think that way for our employees. How are we going to make things
Yeah.
consumable for them so that they aren't overwhelmed with this task of I know this thing's important. I know it could change my job. I know it's going to change my job and all that feeling that comes with it. And like, let's just talk about how to use it. Let's just talk about really simply how to use it. And that just looks like just getting behind the wheel and trying it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a great place to start. When you think about like cost efficiencies, either for marketing or outside marketing, do you already see that it's making your department more cost efficient, the dealership more cost efficient, or like you're still in the beginning phases and you can't necessarily quantify that?
Well, it's sometimes it's tricky to quantify when you make choices and changes, right?
Yeah.
And then you go, well, it could have been more expensive, or fill in the blank. But I will
Yeah.
say that I'm using GPT a lot for reporting and trying to better understand um, our just where we're at as far as the dealership goes, where we're at as
You
far as our
upload it?
inventory. Say that again?
Like you'll upload the reports and have it analyzed, for
Correct.
example?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll create an executive summary based off of data that I have, all
Great
sorts of
use
different
case.
data, right? Right.
Yeah.
And in that, then I can get I'll prompt for some insights and also some opportunities for us in order to make more money. And so I'll put in a report and it'll say, hey, change this thing and that thing and increase gross profit by, $30,000 this next month, right? And it's just a matter of just tweaking, hey, the price on this type of model needs to increase by $200 and this needs to decrease because we're looking at, hey, how fast have you turned in the last, little bit of time, and it's analyzing, you know, multiple years worth of data, and it's saying, hey, change $200 and you'll make an extra $30,000.
It's
Stuff.
actually crazy because in that case, you have basically an in-house data analyst that's able to
Yeah,
optimize all your inventory management.
exactly,
I mean,
exactly.
it's like a dealership's dream to be able to work ChatGPT like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Have you tested any of its recommendations?
yeah, yeah.
And
Um,
they work?
yeah, yeah. I won't give you like the proprietary blend, but
No, 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 no.
I
We
will
have to
tell
use
you that yeah, right, yeah. But I'll tell you that the stuff that I've been working on works, and it's
That's
been kind of cool to
awesome.
see. Yeah.
That's really cool. That's
So
really cool to see. So that's also a great place to start because that's easy. Dealers are already looking at those reports.
right,
Upload them, ask for advice, try to figure out how
right.
to optimize wherever it is. Are you using that for marketing reports too? I know that's inventory management sort of, but like are you using it for um I don't know, like performance marketing or PPC?
In part, so we work with different vendors, all sorts of different vendors
Yeah.
and partners that have AI and reporting built into them.
Right.
And so oftentimes with like third parties, if I'm working with a specific third party, they're going to have their own dashboard already. Now, I can take all those dashboards and put them all together and then create my own proprietary blend of dashboard, if you will. But for right now, what's offered out there has been pretty decent as far as being able to digest data. So yeah, I haven't had to pull all that in and make a marketing, I guess, report, if you will.
Yeah, no, no, it's good to like hear exactly how you're doing it in your day to day. Last question here, and then I think there's a lot that people can take away with where to start. Content strategy. Again, especially as someone who runs a marketing department with little to no human resources, has it changed the way you've looked at and or strategized content?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. So one thing that's really helpful about using any type of AI is that it really understands it's really starting to understand different market segments, right? It understands this type of buyer, that type of buyer, their mindset. And so when I'm thinking critically about, hey, this is the ad that I'm going to run, I can then query ChatGPT or another group like that and ask, does this match up with this market segment of people that I'm trying to reach out to? And
Yeah,
and when I
that's so
do,
cool. I haven't even
um,
tried it.
yeah, it works really well. Like it works really well. Hey, I know our target market is this specific person. You make a persona. This is the type of
Yeah.
person, and how does that resonate with that persona? Sometimes I'll say, hey, this is the ad that I created. Take the role of a critic and of 10, either a critic or I'll say like 10 different um, customers, and what's their sentiment, positive or negative, and it'll say eight of them are positive, two of them are negative, and then I'll say, okay, well, what do I need to do to change the ad
Wow, that is
copy in order for it to be positive?
smart.
And it'll change it and update it. So,
That
yeah,
is so smart. And that was a good tip, like a underlying tip for prompts is always telling ChatGPT, like you are now taking on the role of X. And then that's like a really good way to set up a prompt. Interesting. We're going to try that.
try it out. Try it out. The other
Try it
thing
out.
that I do every day, which might make me sound crazy, is I use advanced speech on ChatGPT. Have you played around with that before?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll turn it on, I'll leave my headphones on, and throughout the day, and I'll start the day by telling, hey, these are the things I have to get done for the day. So this is not marketing related. This is just life
Yeah.
related, right? I'll say these are the 10, 15 things I got to get done for the day. I'll just rattle them off, and then I'll say something like, tell me which one I should start with. And then it'll be like, okay, you should start with this one, Zach. I'm like, all right, great, that's awesome.
You should start with this one, Zach.
Yeah, and then I'll say, okay, I'm gonna go get this done. I'll be right back. And I pause the speech, and then I'll go and get it done, and I'll come back, press the button again, and she'll say, hey, how was getting done? I need to call GM Corporate. Hey, how was calling GM Corporate? And I'll say, oh, I got distracted. I actually waited on hold for 20 minutes and I hung up. Okay, I'll add it on to later in the day, right? So she adds it on to later in the day, queries later in the day. By having it on live in the day, sometimes I'll get distracted throughout the day. But by having it live during the day, it allows me to, if I see an email pop up and it's something that I need to respond to, but I don't want to respond at that moment, right? I just say it out loud. I say, I just got an email from this person. I need to respond. She said, okay,
And
I'll
then it
add that
just,
on.
wow.
So, so yeah, it's just kind of essentially an assistant that sits all day long just waiting, waiting for me to ask. And if it's something with an email, then it's really easy because I've trained it on like my tone, and so I'll say, it's like, oh, you got to email this person. I'll say, oh, perfect, draft the email. Drafts the email, copy and paste, make sure it looks like me, read it through, and then I'll send it off. And so I can crush 15, 20 tasks really fast because I've got this person that's working with me all day long to make sure I'm doing the
Yeah,
best thing.
and you mentioned something else that's really important, which is training it on your tone. So it
Yeah,
makes everything so much easier because it's already trained on your tone. And then when it does create an email for you, it's already pretty much close to what you would write yourself.
right, exactly.
Insane.
Yeah,
I would say that I would teach this to my husband, but I'm not going to because I already laugh at him that he's like in a separate relationship with ChatGPT. So,
that
so
is
like if
funny.
he were talking to ChatGPT all day, I would be like, oh my God, forget it.
My wife does this. She says the same thing. She's like, hey,
I
this
just
is,
sent him reels all day long of like, of these like men falling in love with ChatGPT and walking, and
yeah.
they're so funny. And it's really true.
So,
It's great. And ChatGPT is also really good at giving actual affirmations and being nice. So probably better than most of what we do.
yeah, yeah. I early on I said, hey, like every time you give me any feedback, also give me a compliment, and that has worked out really well.
Of
So,
course, he's gonna pick ChatGPT over me. Anyway, no, but
yeah, of
I'll save that one for a little bit later. But anyway, this is awesome. Thank you so much, Zach. And for
course.
dealers that are looking for ways to start, I feel like there's tons of really good tips here from Zach, specifically on first of all how he just runs his life, personal or
Sure.
professional, but also for dealership operations, which is awesome. So thank you, Zach, for joining. And for those who like this episode, tune in. Dealer Confidential Podcast. You can find us on all your favorite streaming channels, Apple, Spotify, and you can go to fullpath.com and find us there. So thanks again, Zach.
Thank you. Take care.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Dealer Confidential. More secrets, more controversy, and more truth coming soon. Stay sharp, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.